When my daughter had her baby shower, my wife Autumn Moore's enemy kidnapped her and demanded a ransom of $1 million. Autumn Moore claimed business was tough and she couldn't afford it. But she turned around and ordered a luxury car worth $2 million as a gift for her first love, Lucas Hume. In my utter despair, Autumn Moore's nemesis, Shannon Innes, found me with a checkbook. She said she'd pay the ransom if I divorced Autumn Moore and married her. I signed the agreement without hesitation, and Shannon Innes, not trusting anyone, personally led mercenaries to rescue my daughter. In my heart, I believed she was my soulmate. But when my daughter was 5, I saw her calling Lucas Hume Dad. "Jenny, you've suffered for me and our daughter. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had to marry a good-for-nothing like Ethan Rivers and get your hands dirty with murder." Hume, as long as you're happy in the Maple Estate, I'm happy. But you have to keep it a secret. Ethan Rivers would go crazy if he knew his real daughter died a long time ago. So, the salvation I thought I had found was actually the cause of my daughter's death. Seeing Shannon Innes, Lucas Hume and Lily looking like a perfect family, I didn't hesitate to call the kidnappers. "Is a $3 million deal something you'd take?" At the amusement park, Shannon Innes looked at her daughter Lily and Lucas Hume with eyes full of affection. She was so engrossed that she didn't notice me not far behind her. At that moment, her secretary approached her. "Ms. Innes, tomorrow is the memorial day for Mr. Rivers' daughter. Will you be going in person?" Shannon Innes withdrew her gaze. "Yes, even though it was an accident, I was the one who killed Ethan Rivers' daughter in the end. But at least Lucas Hume successfully married Autumn Moore." The secretary looked at Lucas Hume, who was putting on an act in the distance, and sighed. "Mr. Hume only has Autumn Moore in his heart. Even Miss Lily is his and Ms. Leaf's. Why are you making such a big sacrifice? If things blow up, not just you, the entire Innes family will be finished." Shannon Innes said decisively, "It won't blow up." Ethan Rivers didn't recognize that it wasn't his daughter back then. Now that he's raised her for 5 years, how would he suspect anything? The secretary paused for a moment before speaking. "But Mr. Rivers is really good to you. It's not fair for you to deceive him like this." Shannon Innes chuckled self-deprecatingly. "Where is there any fairness in love? I never asked him to love me. If he really finds out and makes a fuss, I'll just give him another child." I felt like I had fallen into an ice cave. But my daughter suddenly turned around and shouted loudly at me, "Daddy, come and play with us." Everyone looked at me, and I couldn't dodge in time and fell into the fountain. Fortunately, the pond was deep enough that they didn't see me. The water was icy cold, but I didn't dare to get out. Lucas Hume was annoyed and threw away the cotton candy in his hand. "What are you shouting for? Can't you see your real dad is here?" Lily was startled and ran away crying, "You're a bad guy, you're not my dad." Shannon Innes, who always doted on her daughter, had a cold expression. "Lily, apologize to your father." Lily cried even harder, and my heart ached. Instinctively, I wanted to go over and hug my daughter. But Shannon Innes' words just now flooded my mind. "That's not my daughter. My daughter was killed by Shannon Innes a long time ago. Not even her bones were found. She was only had just had her baby shower back then." For Lucas Hume, Shannon Innes was so cruel as to send her to the hands of thugs. And going with the mercenaries to rescue her in person was just a show. It was just to prevent me from noticing that she had switched the baby. But I still treated her as my salvation, naively taking care of someone else's daughter for her. No wonder Shannon Innes' secretary always looked at me with pity. There can't be many fools like me. Lily cried nonstop, and Shannon Innes couldn't coax her, so she had to take her away first. Only then did I climb out of the pond in a mess. The biting cold wind blew, but I couldn't feel a trace of coldness. I stumbled back to the mansion. Shannon Innes saw that I was soaking wet and rushed forward to hug me tightly. She called for the servants while using her body to warm me. "Ethan Rivers, what happened to you? I said softly, I went to the amusement park to find you and Lily and accidentally fell into the pond. Her body stiffened, and it took her a long time to calm the panic on her face. Didn't I tell you not to go? You take Lily out every day. It's rare for you to have a day off. In the past 5 years, Shannon Innes would take Lily out herself one day every week to let me rest. Seeing Shannon Innes treat Lily as if she were her own daughter, my heart was full of sweetness. But I never thought that Shannon Innes did it to foster a relationship between Lily and Lucas Hume. My 5 years, they were all lies. Ethan Rivers, did you see anything at the amusement park? I came back to my senses and saw Shannon Innes cautiously probing, and I lowered my eyes. If I had seen you, I wouldn't be in such a mess. Shannon Innes breathed a sigh of relief, tightened the blanket around me, and took the ginger soup to feed me personally. Such meticulous care made the surrounding servants cast envious glances. But the coldness in my heart didn't diminish. Shannon Innes' acting is really good. I didn't see any clues all these years. After getting cleaned up, Shannon Innes sent me upstairs. Lily popped out, holding a wooden box in her hand. Mommy, is this a love letter you wrote to Daddy? I subconsciously reached out to take it, but Shannon Innes slapped my hand away and held the box tightly in her arms. Seeing my swollen hand, Lily burst into tears and punched Shannon Innes with her small fist. You hit Daddy, you're a bad person. Shannon Innes looked embarrassed and carefully explained, someone asked me to keep this for them. Before I could speak, her cell phone rang. It was a special ringtone, and Lily cried even harder, it's that bad UNC. Shannon Innes covered Lily's mouth and told the nanny to take her away quickly. She apologized to me again and said that she had something to go out. The box was locked in her safe. Unfortunately, the password was easy to guess. Even Lily knew, it's that bad uncle's birthday. The box was opened, and it was full of photos of Lucas Hume from childhood to adulthood. Only then did I know that Shannon Innes and Lucas Hume were childhood sweethearts. In the safe, there were also several property donation agreements, and the recipients were all Lucas Hume. A quick glance revealed that they were all amounts of hundreds of millions. The time was the day before Shannon Innes and I got married. And at the bottom of the cabinet was an envelope. It was a photo of Lucas Hume holding a baby, with Shannon Innes' handwriting on the back. Starting today, I'm going to be a mom. A big exclamation mark showed excitement and joy. The photo was taken on the day the kidnappers took my daughter. A sharp pain came from my heart, and I pinched my arm hard to prevent tears from falling. After a long time, when my legs were numb, I calmed down and stood up. I replied to the kidnappers. The day after tomorrow, pick up the person at the dock. A deal of $3 million, I believe Shannon Innes would definitely be willing to pay this money for Lucas Hume. And after I get to international waters, I can completely erase my tracks. 5 years of the past, Shannon Innes, I'll say goodbye to you with the same act. Shannon Innes didn't return until early the next morning. The first thing she did wasn't to see if I had a fever, but to go to the study to check her safe. I looked at her back and sneered. Didn't she say she wasn't afraid of me knowing? Why was she nervous? But the police suddenly came to the house. They left after confirming again and again that the international call wasn't a scam. Shannon Innes was puzzled. Ethan Rivers, these international calls are monitored. They're all used by criminals. What are you trying to do? I didn't know what reason to give, and she embraced me soothingly. Okay, if you have any difficulties, just tell me. Those people are desperate, and they're capable of anything. Such unconditional indulgence made me want to vomit. She clearly knew that the other side was crazy, but for Lucas Hume, she still picked up the phone and kidnapped my daughter. I clenched my hands, but my face was as adoring as ever. Shannon Innes, it's so good to have you. Shannon Innes brought medicinal wine to rub the bruises on my hands. I went to the countryside yesterday to ask an old traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. Looking at the production address on the label, Ocean View Industrial Park, I didn't expose her lie. Yesterday, the text messages between her and Lucas Hume about their hotel room were sent to my phone. They didn't check out until this morning. After rubbing the medicinal wine, she took out a dessert. It's from that hotel you like to eat at. Opening it, it was the lemon flavor I liked. This hotel's dessert is only prepared for VIP guests. It seemed they went to the suite I booked yesterday. Only 2 of the original 4 small cakes were left. Lucas Hume couldn't possibly not notice this. It could only mean that he deliberately wanted to disgust me. He wanted to tell me that I only deserved to eat what he left behind. The cake and the woman. The disgust in my heart grew stronger, and I pushed the cake away. I don't have an appetite. Shannon Innes was shocked and called the family doctor to examine me thoroughly. Only after confirming that I was fine did her tightly furrowed brows relax. Ethan Rivers, go to sleep for a while. I'll go cook some porridge for you. As soon as she left, I threw the cake into the trash can. Not long after, there was a sudden commotion downstairs. I stood by the window and looked out. It was Lucas Hume, looking terrified. He pulled Shannon Innes into his arms. Shannon Innes was startled at first, then looked back at me, but didn't let go. I don't know what Lucas Hume said, but Shannon Innes' face turned angry. The 2 quickly came to the front of my room. As soon as she came in, Shannon Innes slapped me. What were you thinking, actually contacting overseas fugitives to kidnap Hume? It's not his fault that Autumn Moore refused to pay when your daughter was kidnapped. If I had known you were this kind of person, I shouldn't have married you. She used all her strength, and I was knocked to the ground. The vase behind me was smashed, and I fell into a pile of broken glass. Looking at Lucas Hume, whose eyes were red, a trace of triumph flashed across his eyes. Only then did I remember that his brother was in the police station, and he must have known about the international call long ago. He had succeeded in marrying Autumn Moore, and he still wanted to possess Shannon Innes completely. Shannon Innes frowned and asked me to apologize to Lucas Hume. Those fake affections finally revealed their cold, original form at this moment. I didn't explain and stood up and made that international call in front of Shannon Innes. Brother-in-law, why are you calling me at this time? Is there something urgent? Shannon Innes' younger cousin's voice came from the other end of the phone. The expressions on their faces changed drastically. I hung up the phone and asked them, what are you afraid of, just for making an international phone call? What, do those kidnappers also have a business of buying murders? You know so clearly. Shannon Innes looked embarrassed. I just heard the mercenaries mention it when I went to rescue someone last time. I touched my face. Then it's not too much for me to ask Mr. Hume for an apology, right? But Shannon Innes hurriedly stood in front of Lucas Hume. Ethan Rivers, Lucas Hume was also frightened. You shouldn't be so unreasonable. I'll buy you a watch later. Let's just let this matter go. My whole body was covered in glass, and blood was flowing out. But the woman in front of me, who would shed tears of heartache even if I scratched a layer of skin, seemed not to see it. I sneered and was about to speak, but Lucas Hume started crying. Shannon Innes, Ethan Rivers must hate me for taking Autumn Moore away. That's why he designed to harm me. It's okay. He just wants to vent his anger. I'll kneel down and kowtow to him. But I just grew a tumor and can't stand the shock, so please be merciful, Ethan Rivers. He only bent his knees slightly before covering his head and falling to the side. Shannon Innes hurriedly helped him up, glared at me fiercely, and left with him in her arms. I don't know how long passed before Ms. Smith came into the room and exclaimed, Mr. Rivers, why are you bleeding so much? Only then did I wake up and belatedly feel the pain on my body. Ms. Smith was anxious to call Shannon Innes. I stopped her. No need, she knows. Shannon Innes knew that Lucas Hume was lying. But she still protected Lucas Hume regardless. Just like 5 years ago, she kidnapped my daughter for Lucas Hume. Then so be it, Shannon Innes, I will soon disappear as you wish. The family doctor came to treat my wounds, but he was called away by Shannon Innes after only doing half of it. He looked embarrassed on the phone. Ms. Innes, I don't know how to treat tumors either. Shannon Innes' angry voice could be heard on the other end of the phone. I let the doctor go first and treated the wound myself. Ms. Smith helped me pull out the shards of glass on my back. After the wound was treated, all the bodyguards in the house were called away. My daughter Lily was also taken with them, but I was left at home. Little John, who had always followed me, repeatedly told me, even though there's no one here, the security system of the mansion is very complete. Please don't go out. Watching all 20 or so bodyguards in the house head towards the hospital, I opened the text messages on my phone. Already in the country, Doc, or home? I replied come home and deleted the message. Shannon Innes hired them to kidnap someone back then, but later she was afraid that the news would leak, so she tried to silence them. That's how the accident happened during the firefight, causing my daughter to die tragically. Now, the Black Sea Gang is controlled by the illegitimate daughter of the former leader. Shannon Innes has been wary of them retaliating, that's why she's so sensitive. Lucas Hume in the hospital sent a photo of Shannon Innes feeding him rich broth. The door to the room was filled with bodyguards. He sent another message. How is it? Being abandoned again? Feels good, right? I just said I saw you were in a bad mood, and Shannon Innes left you at home. She also said she would use you to attract firepower. I ignored him and called Shannon Innes, but she hung up. Half a day passed before she sent a message. Be good and stay at home, I'll be back when I'm done. She didn't mention anything about all the bodyguards being dispatched. Not long after, the Black Sea Gang broke into the house. The security system alarm went off. It must have sent a message to Shannon Innes' phone, but there was still no word from her. I looked at my phone and smiled, dropped the lighter, and set the mansion on fire. Let's go. The Black Sea Gang stopped me. Didn't you say there was Shannon Innes' daughter? I handed him a paternity test report. Send this to Shannon Innes, and she'll pay $3 million to shut it up. This is also the reason why you were exterminated back then. It's up to you how to use it. Also, didn't Lucas Hume also hire you to kill me? Prepare a fake corpse to send over. That'll be CL. O's to $4 million from both sides. Only then did the Black Sea Gang take me into the car. After arriving at sea, Shannon Innes sent a message. Ethan Rivers, stop it, turn off the security system. I'll be back in a while. It was so funny, she didn't even turn on the security system's notifications. She was certain that I was just throwing a tantrum to trick her. But it's okay, the mansion will soon be completely burned down. And the Black Sea Gang's ransom note will also be sent to her. I threw my phone into the sea, watching the Black Sea Gang hack into the hospital's surveillance. In the hospital, the police and the secretary arrived together. Both sides looked anxious, and they spoke at the same time. Ms. Innes, your husband has been kidnapped by a pirate group. Ms. Innes, it seems that Mr. Rivers has discovered that Miss Lily isn't his biological daughter. 5. Shannon Innes felt like she was hallucinating, otherwise, how could she have heard such absurd things from both sides? The secretary tactfully stepped aside. The police began to talk about the specific details of the case. They notified Shannon Innes as soon as the Black Sea Gang entered the country, asking her to take protective measures. But unexpectedly, Shannon Innes actually left her husband alone at home. Shannon Innes frowned deeply. The alarm from the home security system was just my husband playing around. The police sighed, but your mansion is on fire. Lucas Hume walked out upon hearing this. Oh, I didn't expect Ethan Rivers to be so willful, actually burning the house just to attract your attention. Officer, did you receive any clues that Ethan Rivers was kidnapped? The officer shook his head. Lucas Hume waved his hand. That's it then. If he was kidnapped, Shannon Innes should have received a ransom note, right? But we've been here all night, and we haven't received anything. Shannon Innes felt that something was wrong. Ethan Rivers wasn't the type to act recklessly. And when Autumn Moore ignored him and his daughter, he just calmly looked everywhere to raise money. But just as Shannon Innes was about to explain, Lucas Hume stopped her. The police sighed helplessly and left, saying to be careful. Just as Shannon Innes was about to call Ethan Rivers, the secretary stepped forward again. Ms. Innes, look at what Mr. Rivers sent. Shannon Innes took it. It was a paternity report. It clearly showed that Ethan Rivers and Lily were not related. Shannon Innes' breathing stopped, and she clenched the paper. Ethan Rivers, did he finally find out? Lucas Hume came over and sneered. See, I told you Ethan Rivers was just messing around by burning the house. He just wants to vent his anger. Nothing will happen. Listening to Lucas Hume's seemingly reasonable explanation, the unease in Shannon Innes' heart couldn't dissipate. Shannon Innes looked at the secretary. Can't we contact Mr. Rivers? The secretary nodded heavily. Shannon Innes frowned and instructed, it's only been 3 hours since the security system alarm went off. He can't have gone far. Take people to find him quickly. Take all the bodyguards with you. We must find him as soon as possible. Lucas Hume complained unhappily. If you let the secretary take people away, what about our safety? You know, the Black Sea Gang are all a bunch of bloodthirsty demons. Shannon Innes suddenly felt that something was wrong and grabbed Lucas Hume. How do you know that the people coming to retaliate are the Black Sea Gang? I never told you. Only then did Lucas Hume realize that he had slipped up. Shannon Innes already felt indebted to Ethan Rivers. If she knew that the Black Sea Gang was brought in by her. Thinking of this, Lucas Hume covered his head and shed tears. Shannon Innes, that's what the police just said. I got a tumor because I was so angry, but you're treating me like this. Didn't you say that as long as Lucas Hume and Autumn Moore were happy, you'd do anything? Only then did Shannon Innes let go. The Lucas Hume in front of her had red eyes, like a puppy. Usually, when he put on this appearance, she would soften. But today, she only felt annoyed. Shannon Innes suppressed the anxiety in her heart, forced a smile, and sent Lucas Hume back to the ward. I've been too tired these past few days, that's why I couldn't control my temper. Take good care of yourself. If you're worried about safety, I can leave. The Black Sea Gang is retaliating against me. Shannon Innes got up to leave, but Lucas Hume, who was just worried, grabbed her. Shannon Innes, no, I'm even more scared if you leave. This was the first time Shannon Innes had seen Lucas Hume so attached to her. In the past, Lucas Hume only had Autumn Moore in his heart and was indifferent to her. Only that time when she said she would help Lucas Hume raise his daughter did he smile at her. But the things she had craved so much in the past now felt a little boring. Ethan Rivers would never be like this. Thinking of this, Shannon Innes suddenly stood up. No longer caring about Lucas Hume's calls, she walked out. She couldn't let the secretary look for him. She had to go too. Ethan Rivers must be heartbroken now, otherwise, he wouldn't have done something so outrageous as burning the house. She was sorry for him about the daughter's matter. After finding Ethan Rivers, she would wholeheartedly stay by his side. Then have a child that belonged to them. For the rest of her life, she would make up for Ethan Rivers with all her love. But as soon as she left the hospital, Shannon Innes received a call from the secretary. It's not good, Ms. Innes, the Black Sea Gang sent a ransom note. 6. Shannon Innes slammed on the brakes and made a call in the middle of the road, regardless of everything. Ms. Innes, The letter said that if you don't want the matter of you planning to kidnap the child and switching the child to be revealed, pay $2 million. What else? Shannon clutched her phone, constantly hoping that Ethan Rivers hadn't fallen into their hands. The secretary on the other end was stunned, nothing else. Shannon breathed a sigh of relief. That means they didn't kidnap Mr. Rivers? Only then did the secretary react. It's not mentioned in the letter, but we can't contact Mr. Rivers either. Shannon suppressed her racing heart. Then Mr. Rivers is fine. Go find him quickly. As soon as she hung up, an unfamiliar number called. Shannon hurriedly answered. Ethan Rivers, is that you? There was a moment of silence on the other end before Lucas Hume's aggrieved voice rang out. Shannon it's me. Autumn Moore has gone on a business trip and won't be back for a while. Can you come back to the hospital to be with me? The hope in Shannon heart turned to ashes. In the past, every time Lucas Hume and Autumn Moore argued, or Autumn Moore had something to do, Lucas Hume would call her. No matter what time it was, she would rush to Lucas Hume's side immediately. There was even a time when it was Ethan Rivers' birthday, and she left just as the birthday candles were lit. There was also the time when Ethan Rivers was in a car accident and had surgery, and she stayed by Lucas Hume's side. Things that she used to enjoy now just made her feel that Lucas Hume was annoying. I already told you I have something to do. Don't you understand human language? As soon as she said it, Shannon felt that she had gone too far. As expected, Lucas Hume started crying aggrievedly. Shannon patiently explained, I still can't contact Ethan Rivers. I have to find him first, otherwise, he'll be in danger if he falls into the hands of the Black Sea Gang. Lucas Hume replied impatiently, Shannon have you been pretending to be a wife-doting person for too long and started to believe it yourself? Why would the Black Sea Gang kidnap Ethan Rivers? Others may not know that you don't love Ethan Rivers. But how could the Black Sea Gang not know? You were the one who planned everything with them in the first place. Shannon was stunned for a moment, and she actually accepted this absurd reason in her heart. Yes, the Black Sea Gang knew that Ethan Rivers had no place in her heart, so they probably wouldn't lay a hand on him, right? But Shannon didn't dare to gamble. She casually brushed off Lucas Hume and continued to search. But soon, the police station called. She hurriedly rushed to the police station and looked at the restored surveillance footage. Several burly men with the Black Sea Gang logo tattooed on them took Ethan Rivers away in a sack. Shannon rushed to the computer in disbelief and replayed it several times. But the man in the picture was Ethan Rivers. He was still wrapped in bandages, and blood seeped out during the struggle. Shannon felt like her heart was about to break. We analyzed the ransom note and confirmed that the Black Sea Gang has no intention of using hostages to extort money. Shannon came back to her senses and hurriedly asked, Does that mean that my husband being kidnapped was an accident? The police shook their heads. Their target was very clear. They went straight to your mansion as soon as they landed. Obviously, your husband is also their target. Shannon didn't understand. Then why don't they want my husband's ransom? The police officer opposite her suddenly looked at her with pity. The Black Sea Gang also takes on the business of hiring murderers. 7. Shannon felt that she must be crazy, otherwise, how could she hear such absurd things? Ethan Rivers has always been kind to others. How could someone hire someone to kill him? But the secretary on the side looked as if she knew it all along. Shannon pulled the secretary out. What do you know? The secretary struggled for a long time before finally speaking. That day, I heard Mr. Hume making a phone call, saying something about giving $1 million as long as the matter was successful. Then the next day, our informants received news that the Black Sea Gang was dispatched. Shannon immediately denied, It's impossible for Hume. Why would he kill Ethan Rivers for no reason? The secretary hid her ridicule. Over the years, Mr. Hume had done many things in secret. Even kidnapping Mr. Rivers' daughter in the first place was his idea. But her president seemed to be blinded by lard and thought he was so pure and innocent. It's just a pity for Mr. Rivers. He's probably doomed this time. Shannon Innes asked the secretary to arrange the ransom, $3 million, all to be used to redeem Ethan Rivers. If they couldn't reach an agreement, they could add more. Even if it meant going bankrupt, she would save Ethan Rivers. After arranging everything, Shannon Innes rushed to the hospital. She didn't know why, but she felt that what the secretary said might be true. When she arrived outside the hospital ward, she heard her daughter Lily crying, "You bad guy, I don't want you to be my dad." A loud slap came, and her daughter cried even harder. Shannon Innes was about to rush in, but she heard Lucas Hume say in an extremely vicious tone, "Did you think I wanted to be your dad? You're just a bastard I picked up. How are you worthy of being my daughter?" Shannon Innes' legs seemed to be frozen, and she couldn't move. So, she listened to Lucas Hume gleefully telling the plan from that year. Tricking Autumn Moore into freezing her eggs, randomly finding a child and saying it was his and her child, and finally successfully climbing to the top. And using the child he picked up to trick Shannon Innes into plotting for him, successfully forcing Ethan Rivers to divorce. Lucas Hume's arrogant voice pierced Shannon Innes's eardrums. "Shannon Innes and Autumn Moore are two idiots. They're being played by me and still act like lapdogs. Ethan Rivers is a fool too, raising an illegitimate child and being lovey-dovey with the murderer who killed his own daughter." Lily's tearful voice rang out, "You're a bad man, I'm going to tell Mom everything." Lucas Hume smirked, "Go ahead. See if Shannon Innes believes you or me. One word from me, and Ethan Rivers is deliberately corrupting you, and your mom will divorce him. Then you'll become a little bastard nobody wants." Shannon Innes couldn't listen anymore. She rushed into the room and slapped Lucas Hume hard across the face. "How could you be such a vile person?" Lucas Hume covered his face, stunned, and fell to the ground. His eyes darted around, and he quickly explained, "Shannon Innes, I just wanted to scare Lily. None of it's true. She's never liked me since she was little. I was just angry and said those things." Listening to Lucas Hume's forced and unreasonable defense, Shannon Innes felt like her lungs were about to explode. Shannon Innes had Lily taken out of the room and plucked some of Lucas Hume's hair to do a paternity test. But as soon as the door closed, Lucas Hume hugged her. "Innes, I was wrong. Lily isn't my child. But I had no choice back then. Autumn Moore wouldn't have married me if I hadn't done that. I know you love me. I never gave you a response before, but now I finally see it clearly. You're the one who loves me the most." Shannon Innes saw Lucas Hume leaning closer, pulling down his collar as he spoke. Disgusted, she pushed him away. "Lucas Hume, you make me sick. I'm going to tell Autumn Moore all about your dirty schemes." Shannon Innes remembered Lucas Hume was sick and didn't hit him. But Lucas Hume held onto her clothes tightly, refusing to let go. "No, Shannon Innes, you'll ruin me if you do this. Isn't killing Ethan Rivers' child enough for you? Do you want to kill me too? You'll be punished." Shannon Innes lowered her raised hand. She was suddenly afraid. Retribution, yes, she had done so many bad things. Rivers was still out there. What if something happened? Shannon Innes coldly pushed Lucas Hume away. "You better pray Rivers comes back safe and sound from the Black Sea gang, or else. I wouldn't mind sending you to the morgue right now." Lucas Hume flinched, frightened by the chilling aura radiating from Shannon Innes. Having grown up with Shannon Innes, he knew the murderous intent in her eyes was real. But Ethan Rivers, he had ordered the Black Sea gang to kill him. Oh well, as long as he could get through this, he'd take the money Shannon Innes gave him and escape. Just then, the surveillance camera above buzzed. "Mr. Hume, regarding the kill order you issued, do you want Ethan Rivers brought back whole?" 8. I really can't comment on the Black Sea Gang's twisted sense of humor. After they took control of the surveillance and shouted that sentence, Shannon Innes's eyes suddenly turned red. Then she started kicking and punching Lucas Hume like a madwoman. No matter how Lucas Hume wailed and begged for mercy, she seemed deaf to it all. When the hospital room was covered in blood, she finally called people in to rescue him. Soon, the Black Sea Gang received information. Shannon Innes offered $20 million to buy my safe return. I frowned when I heard that number. I knew Shin Corporation's financial situation well. They couldn't come up with that much cash all at once. The $1 million Shannon Innes had taken out before had been scraped together by selling several properties. But soon, I saw information about Shannon Innes selling her stock. She sold all her shares in Shin Corporation. This meant she was no longer in charge of Shin Corporation. I thought the Black Sea Gang would sell me out. But unexpectedly, they were still preparing a new identity for me according to the original plan. This made me uneasy. Shannon Innes's actions made me realize that there's no such thing as a free lunch. It wasn't until the new leader of the Black Sea Gang came to find me that I understood the reason. It turned out to be Luna Quinn, my childhood sweetheart. Back then, she lived next door with her mother. When she was little, she was small and dark-skinned, but she had a pair of blue eyes. Because she didn't have a father, she was often bullied by older kids. The first time we met, I happened to see the little bully in the neighborhood chasing her. I was strong and knocked the little bully over. From then on, I became Luna Quinn's protector. Unfortunately, after 6th grade, she moved away with her mother. We never saw each other again. Looking at the 5 feet 7 inches curvy woman in front of me, I swallowed. Luna Quinn closed the door, withdrawing her terrifying murderous aura. She winked at me. Rivers, don't you remember me? Her round eyes still had that lovable, puppy dog look. She leaned over, her neckline wide open, and I could see the distinct curves inside. I quickly looked away. No, I just didn't expect it was you. After all, you weren't this tall when you were little. Luna Quinn giggled. Do you like me better like I was before, or like I am now? Her words were really ambiguous. I looked up and met Luna Quinn's azure eyes. Her beautiful face made me blush. Luna Quinn took my hand. Rivers, I've finally found you. 9. On the day the ransom was paid, Luna Quinn also had me go with her. Shannon Innes came alone on a speedboat. The boat was piled high with boxes of gold, and there was also a person. It was a disheveled Lucas Hume. I went over and asked Luna Quinn, "Why did you bring him here?" Luna Quinn raised an eyebrow. "To get another ransom from Autumn Moore. This man is worth more than a luxury car, isn't he?" The way she said it sounded like she was venting my anger. It wasn't just this. Also, regarding Shannon Innes's request to keep me safe, Luna Quinn incorporated my fake death plan into it. Hand over the person, but blow up the boat along the way. Luna Quinn smiled coldly when she talked about this plan. Doesn't she like to play tricks? Let's give her enough to play with. These words were too much like she was venting my anger for me, and I dared not think too much about it. Shannon Innes's speedboat was getting closer and closer, allowing me to see her face clearly. She had lost so much weight that her cheeks were sunken, and her hair was a mess, as if she had just crawled out of a garbage dump. The dress she was wearing was the first dress I ever bought for her. Luna Quinn had her men stand out and shout. Soon, Lucas Hume was dragged over and thrown into the back cabin. Shannon Innes clamored to see me before she would hand over the money. I stood on the bow of the ship, and Shannon Innes immediately burst into tears. Rivers, it's good that you're okay. Don't be afraid. I've prepared the money. They won't dare to make things difficult for you. As she spoke, she was about to send the gold bars to the receiving ship. I spoke up to stop her. Trade at this location. Although Shannon Innes found it strange, she still took the coordinates and turned around. I also boarded the boat that had been prepared in advance. When we arrived at the location, we were surrounded by the vast ocean, and Shannon Innes clearly relaxed. She handed the gold bars to the Black Sea gang, about to bring her boat over to me. The boat got closer and closer, and her face was full of the joy of reunion. Shannon Innes wiped away her tears haphazardly. Rivers, it's good you're okay, or I would regret it for the rest of my life. Don't worry, Lucas Hume has already been punished. I've posted everything he did online. Even if Autumn Moore takes him back home, he'll be ruined. I won't have anyone else in my heart from now on. Let's start over, okay? I looked at her coldly. Do you know why I asked you to come here? Shannon Innes was stunned. Because it's safe here? I unbuttoned my clothes, revealing the bomb strapped to my body. Shannon Innes, it seems you've really forgotten. This is where my daughter died. You personally fired the RPG shells that destroyed the ship my daughter was on. Shannon Innes's face turned pale. No, Rivers, let me explain. It was an accident. I didn't know she was on that ship. I just wanted to. I sneered. Silence her? Shannon Innes, what's done in the dark will always come to light. Shannon Innes saw that I wanted to flip the switch, and her lips turned white with anxiety. No, Rivers, don't punish yourself. Kill me to atone for your daughter. As long as you live, I'll do anything. I stared at her blankly. Shannon Innes spoke sincerely, as if she was really afraid of me dying. But I had had enough of her lies for the past 5 years. In Shannon Innes's incredulous eyes, I pulled the switch. Amidst the violent explosion, I still heard Shannon Innes's heart-wrenching scream. No! I sank into the sea with the device. The divers who had been prepared in advance quickly took me away. When I surfaced, the first thing I saw was Luna Quinn. She was holding a small wooden box. Rivers, this is your daughter. I took the box with tears in my eyes, and seemed to see my daughter's small, soft appearance again. She was so small, she couldn't even roll over. I only hated that I had entrusted her to the wrong person. But didn't Luna Quinn say before that it would be difficult to recover her remains, and told me not to get my hopes up? Luna Quinn draped a bath towel over me. Rivers, my luck gets better when you're by my side. So, you have yourself to thank for everything. Let's go, get cleaned up. You've come ashore now. I nodded. Yes. I had been immersed in lies and falsehoods for so many years. Finally, I was ashore. Later, I heard that Shannon Innes never returned home. She built a shack out of wooden planks and lived on the sea where the explosion occurred. She kept saying that I would be scared if she left. It made me sick to hear that. As for ransoming Lucas Hume, Autumn Moore bargained down to $1 million. But at the last minute, she went back on her word and told the Black Sea gang to handle him themselves. Luna Quinn was so angry that she tied her up and threw her into another pirate den. The good deeds the three of them had done were spread far and wide at home. The Leaf Group and Shin Corporation's stocks plummeted. Both families came out to distance themselves from them. Naturally, no one came to the Black Sea gang to investigate. Having made a lot of money, Luna Quinn disbanded the Black Sea gang. I looked at Luna Quinn, who was following behind me with her suitcase, feeling very helpless. I've told you, I don't have those kinds of feelings right now. Luna Quinn stared at me pitifully. Anyway, I'm homeless now. If you don't take me in, I'll have to go wander. I could only let her follow. The world is vast, and there is still a long time to come. If she wants to chase, let her chase. We walked down the road one after the other, just like when we were kids. These are good times.